My name is Jacob Miller, and today I'm presenting on Thomas A. Dorsey, a figure widely recognized as the father of modern gospel music. Born in Georgia in 1899, Dorsey moved to Chicago in 1919 during the Great Migration. He began his career as a highly successful secular blues pianist known as Georgia Tom. A profound personal and spiritual awakening in the late 1920s and early 30s led him to pivot entirely. He dedicated his life to creating a brand new genre of sacred music. He then lived a long, impactful life, passing away in 1993, but the religious movement he catalyzed within the African American church permanently altered Christian worship across the globe. To understand Dorsey's broad teachings, we have to understand that his doctrine wasn't written in a book. It was written in musical bars. Dorsey's core teaching was that raw, emotional struggles of human life should not be separated from worship. Before him, mainstream churches kept secular music styles strictly out of sanctuary. He then collapsed that wall and taught a form of pneumatology, meaning the study or experience of the Holy Spirit that demanded active emotional participation. Worship wasn't to be stoic, it was supposed to be felt, shouted, and sung. Furthermore, his doctrine taught a right now theology. While traditional spirituals often looked forward to freedom and heaven, Dorsey's songs insisted that God provides immediate comfort, strength, and emotional liberation right here in the midst of everyday earthly suffering. The absolute peak in Dorsey's ministry came out of his darkest moment. In August of 1932, while he was away managing a church revival, his pregnant wife Nettie died during childbirth, and their infant son died just hours later. Stricken with grief and nearly losing his faith, he then sat at a piano and wrote his most famous masterpiece, Take My Hand, Precious Lord. The portrait he poured his exact raw expressiveness into his ministry, and his songs emphasize absolute human vulnerability. He taught that it is okay to tell God, I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. His ministry proved that faith is forged through enduring pain, not ignoring it. To spread this message, he also co-founded the National Convention of Gospel Choirs and Choruses in 1932, establishing a formal structure to train singers and musicians in this emotionally open style of ministry. Why was Thomas Dorsey uniquely needed? When he started, many established middle-class black churches flatly rejected him. They wanted to assimilate the preferred traditional Stoic European hymns. They literally kicked Dorsey out of churches, calling his up-tempo rhythms the devil's music. But there was a massive void. Thousands of black Americans moving north faced severe segregation, poverty, and the crushing weight of the Great Depression. Standard rigid hymns did not resonate with their daily trauma. Dorsey was needed because he gave marginalized people a musical and theological vocabulary to express their pain. He proved that rhythm and blues notes could hold holy reverence, ultimately transforming the black church into a sanctuary of psychological and spiritual resilience. To close out with a fun fact, before he was the father of gospel music, he was actually a secular musician star. Under that name, Georgia Tom, he wrote many blues tracks, including one in 1928 called It's Tight Like That. It sold an astonishing, at the time, 7 million copies, showing just how deeply rooted he was in the secular musical industry before he brought it to church. That same song later ended up actually being the favorite song of the famous Martin Luther King Jr. and was later sung at Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral. Ultimately, Dorsey's legacy crossed the choir straight into the civil rights movement. Thank you.